Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's webinar on fast and efficient, accurate quoting order entry. So first of all, who am I? I'm Andrew Ardron, and many of you know who I am, but I'm the CEO at ProspectSoft. We're going to have a quick look at some typical B2B quoting and ordering sales models just to make sure we know the different types of quotes and order entry we're trying to do. And then we'll break that down and to look at some of the common elements that we need to get right. And then we'll have a demo and actually look at some of those different types of quotes and orders that we want to do and make sure that we can understand how to do them all efficiently and accurately. So first of all, some typical sales models. Now, I actually did a webinar using these three models a little while ago on managing pipelines. So there's a certain amount of similarity here, but there I focused mostly on how to manage those pipelines, and this time I'm going to focus more on the actual quoting and order entry. Sales models range from very complex sales models through to medium complexity and then quick and simple. And the kind of complex sales models would be typically around a fitment process and installation specification projects where you're selling a whole installation project to go with the products you're selling, and so there's quite often there's the quotes are much bigger, and so people spend longer considering those, but also particularly if it's for a building project, obviously you've got other delays like actually doing the different phases of the building, the planning permission, etc. There are other sales models that are more complex as well. So even if you're distributing to retailers, your typical sale might be relatively straightforward and high volume, but the process of signing up a new retailer and getting them to begin stocking your products and maybe to get a display stand in and things like that can obviously be a much more lengthy sales process. And really any kind of sale that involves price negotiation, multiple quotes and iterations. And then kind of in the middle, you've got the sort of medium-sized sales, which are typically existing customers and they're reordering, but perhaps they're reordering products that they haven't bought before, or where there's some negotiation on the price each time, or where just they're ordering stuff, but they need to go and get somebody else to sign it off. So they might be reordering, but they need a confirmatory quote and a kind of follow-up process, or where customers are asking, even for simpler products, they may be asking for an actual quote rather than just placing an order because they want to get sign off or they want to look at different comparative pricing options, either multiple options from you or between you and a competitor. And then obviously, particularly in distribution and wholesale, there are plenty of quick sales, hopefully, that are flowing through, the kind of bread and butter sales. These existing customers who know what they're buying and they're reordering without even needing a quote, or maybe just a simple phone quotation. And these orders can come in by phone, by email, probably not by fax anymore, or possibly a CSV or an Excel order being sent to you. Or obviously in an e-commerce model, these could be the equivalent of the kind of transactional on account or cash sale just coming in quickly. And for each of these models, there are different things that we really want from the kind of quotation and order entry. So for the more complex ones, we're certainly prepared to spend more time doing the quotation and taking the order, and we're looking for fully customizable, flexible, and often complex quotation and proposal documents that we're really going to spend our time personalizing and curating and probably even describing the project itself. And often this may include multiple iterations and variations. If we look at the medium-size projects, we'd be looking for simpler, still perhaps some personalization, but less personalized quotation documents, and possibly even those quotation documents will just be an email template or even verbally given quotes with a simple follow-up to sort of follow up with the customer and chase in that sales order. And then at the quicker end, really we're looking at the fastest possible data entry for sort of higher volume, lower value orders. So some of the common things that we need across all three of those models. First of all, we need good base data. We need easy to find, accurate and up-to-date information, both on our customers and on our products. But we don't want just the minimum data. We want the kind of data that's going to help us build relationships, so actual knowledge about these customers and what they're doing, and then allows us to control and drive the sale so that we get a successful outcome. And then built on that kind of base data, there's some primary actions that apply to all of these. So in all of these different kind of quotes, we need to be able to add products, quantities, prices quickly and accurately. We need to be able to process the order without switching apps so that we can just, whether it be a quotation or a quick order, actually just place that order and get somebody ready to ship it out. And across the board, we want to avoid the inconsistencies and inefficiencies that come from rekeying. Not only is rekeying just slow to actually do, but it slows up our whole sales team and sales process because it introduces inconsistencies and inefficiencies throughout. And then there was a whole load of secondary actions, things that are important for some or other types of quoting. So actually being able to create documents from those, create PDFs, create emails, use templates to do those to kind of speed up. So we can maybe personalize but speed them up by using templates. We might, on some of the more complex quotes, want to be able to group products and sections together. We might want to be able to do upsells so that we can sell the things that people could buy instead, or should buy to go with this, or must buy to go with this thing. And we might need to be able to do multiple iterations and alternatives. And really in all these kind of secondary actions in the slightly more complex, the sort of medium and the more complex sales, we're looking for good flexibility and the ability to provide great customer service to our customers, but without sacrificing the efficiency and accuracy that we're looking for in our quotation process. So there's a bit of an introduction, the complex, medium and simple, and some of the key things we're looking for. And I'm going to kind of start with a demo of perhaps a more complex type of sale and quotation and order, and then we'll kind of bring it down and see how quickly we can go towards the end with the simplest and fastest sort of high volume, low value sales orders. So here I've got a customer record. I did say that we need to be able to find customers quickly, and obviously being able to search for customers or being able to see them in our recent list of records. So here's Browns of Brisbane, and I could go and have a look at previous quotes. I can see what they have been buying and how much they've been buying so far this year. And I might have multiple contacts as well. So here we've got Michelle Jury is the only person we know there. And I know lots of information about Michelle, but I'm going to talk about a complex sales process to start with. So here we've got a sales lead or a sales opportunity to do a whole lot of bookshelf installations in a new Crown Plaza hotel. And we can see that we're expecting to close this deal next month. We've got a 56% chance of closing it. I'm going to bump that up to 75% because I've just had a chat with Michelle and I think this is going good. And I had estimated about a £37,000 project value, but I'm going to go now and do an actual quotation. So first of all, you can see there's no quotes. Or if actually I go back to the main screen, there's a little tile here that tells me there's no quotes and no orders for this sales opportunity yet. So let's go and do a new quotation. And I can give it a description, picks it up from the sales opportunity. I can choose the current zone I sell into, and I can actually start, if I want to, even fairly complex quotes. I can help with the efficiency and the speed of building these quotes by maybe having some kind of starting packs or common configurations that we quote for. You know, building style 1, building style 2, building style 3, or whatever that might be. And so I could actually go and create this by picking some items from our getting started pack. And I'm going to do that. So this, not the greatest example in the world, this simple getting started pack quote has only got one line on it, but I could obviously have a template quote with multiple lines, and I'll kind of show you another one of those later on. But go on, let's use that. And here we go. We've now created our quotation with just one line on it. I'm actually going to get rid of that and just kind of show you the alternative to that, which is to actually start from scratch. So let's go and add some bookshelves in here. So I'm going to sell a wooden bookshelf, and wooden bookshelves are set up in my system to have some upsell. So we can have products set up so that they've got alternatives. So if I've got a wooden bookshelf and a metal bookshelf, then I might try and push my metal bookshelf as an upgrade, and this pop-up would do that. In this particular case, I'm going to say I'm trying to sell 50 bookshelves, and it's telling me that if I'm selling the wooden bookshelf at £50, 50 of those, I should actually put 150 shelves into that pack as well. So the bookshelf doesn't come with any shelves as standard, so I need to add those in. And it's also then going to tell me that, well, as well as these kind of fairly mandatory shelves, optionally I can sell lounge chairs as well. I'm not going to sell any of those, but because we're out of stock. But also, I might want to include sides on my bookshelf. So the bookshelf can be sold as an open minimalist design. We can add sides for a more traditional look. Maybe this customer wants some sides. 2 sides for each bookshelf. So that's 100 sides to go with my 50 bookshelves. And there you go. I've now added my bookshelf, my wooden bookshelf with the shelves and the sides. Let's say I also want to put some dining tables in there. So let's have 20 dining tables, and let's have some dining chairs, and let's have 2 apiece. So let's have 40 dining room chairs. And so you can see that I can fairly quickly build up a quotation like this. I will show you just a different screen as well. So if I actually click on search, I can then bring up a kind of longer list of matching items. So if I put in chair here, for instance, then I can get a list of all the different chairs that we sell, and I can do 2 of those and 3 of those and 4 of those and 10 of those, etc. So it's just a different way to add items. We're going to do repeat orders later on, but just while I'm in this screen, I can also add items based on this customer's recent purchases as well, which is another nice way to add items quickly. But here we go. We've built our quotation with a number of different items in it. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to want to put this into, if you imagine this is an installation proposal, I might want to put this into a slightly larger document. And I'm going to spend a bit more time organizing this and personalizing it. So I'm actually going to use a Microsoft Word template in this case, and I'm going to use a project proposal template. You can have any number of templates in here. So you can have, you know, hotel builds, school builds, etc., with different sort of marketing and sales content in each one, as well as obviously the different products that are actually quoted. So here is my actual Microsoft Word document. I can enable editing, and now I can go through. It's got all the products and prices in here. I can then amend this and maybe put in some custom objectives and expand on my solution. Installation is included, etc., etc., etc. And so I can spend my time now customizing this proposal document and making it just perfect for this particular sale. And obviously I could theoretically go and print that proposal document. I could actually go and produce some other documents if I wanted to. And then when I'm ready, I can actually go and put all of these different documents together I'm just going to choose a blank email template. And if I go to add attachments, I can pick up the documents that we've already produced. So I can include this project proposal that we've just created, and I can just attach it as a Word document as is, or I can actually tell it to PDF it and attach it all in one go, which is real nice. And that gives me a kind of PDF attachment automatically processed and attached as a PDF. I could actually create new documents on the fly, or I could attach documents that I've got on my PC just to sort of add other things if I needed to. And so here you see we've got our email cover letter with our PDF attached. Please find proposal attached. As I say, I could attach multiple documents to this and send a nice covering email to Michelle with that proposal in it. Just going to cancel that. So that's one way in which we can do sales proposals. I'm just going to kind of expand on that a little bit before I move on, because I think one common thing that people want to be able to do in more complex proposals sometimes is to group items together and do sections of your quote. This takes a bit more configuration, and this is a preview feature we've got. So this grouping is in preview, but I can now add a group. So if we do bedroom items, we can say the bookshelves, the shelves, and the side items, they're all to go into bedrooms. And let's create another group here. And this is dining areas. And I'll put the last two items into dining areas. And so I can now produce a proposal document with multiple sections and subtotals. And again, we can go and kind of configure the document to show this in various different ways to give this quote a nice structure. And again, this is the sort of thing that we would do for more complex proposals, not necessarily for our simplest quotations. Okay. So let's kind of leave that one for now, and let's go back to Michelle Jury. So that was a whole kind of sales proposal. This might have been going on for weeks, months, years even. I might even do multiple quotations over the period of that sales opportunity until I've eventually got my sales order ready to go. But in the kind of medium size opportunity, I might still want to be able to just do, Michelle, a much quicker quote without having to go through the whole sales process. And let's just do, Michelle, a quick quote and give it a description if I like. And in this case, I'm going to base this on my regular weekly order. And here we've got a few more items. And I'm going to say, yeah, put all of those items on my quote. And here we go. We've got all the regular items that Michelle is hoping to place on this order. And she might say, oh, actually, I don't want that one. So I'll delete that one. And maybe we need 9 of those this time around. And so I can obviously amend this without changing the actual template, just to give it this specific order. The other thing that does sometimes happen is people send in perhaps a spreadsheet or a CSV or something saying, please can you quote me for these items, or please can I place an order for these items, or can you confirm the pricing or whatever. So one of the things I can do is I can just drag and drop my CSV order into my quotation, and then it lists all the products and the prices. I can say, yep, let's put all of those items in, and it will just go through and add all those items, price them all up, check the stock and everything, and put them all onto my sales order. And there we go. Now I've got a sales order with way more items on it. And because this is a kind of medium-sized quotation, I'm not going to go and produce a whole Word document, a proposal document like we did before. I'm just going to send Michelle a much simpler quote. So I'm just going to send her an email with my simple email quote template, which just gives me, that is the quotation for all the different items. and I can just send that straight off to Michelle, and she's now got my quotation ready to go. Now, in a medium size quote, I might still want to sort of follow up, so I can set this for tomorrow. I'm logged in as a support user, but obviously this would be whoever your user is. Call back and chase for weekly order. And if I save that, then that will be on my to-do list tomorrow, and I'll then be able to ring Michelle and target that. I can also move it on through the status to awaiting purchase order, so we know what stage it's in. So there you go, fairly quick quote sent to Michelle for some items, and a little follow-up set for that. Probably the very simplest example, though, is if she just rings up, Michelle just says, I need to place an order quickly, so I can go straight in and say, yeah, let's do a sales order. Again, I could have based that on a previous item, and this is in a status of draft sales order, and I can go and put some new items on here. Probably is worth saying that, again, for the more complex quotes, I could have actually created new product items as part of my flow as well. So if I had to source some item, you know, maybe some other type of furniture to go into that hotel, I could have actually created a new item to go onto my quote as part of my quotation flow. But in this case, I'm actually just going to go and do a bit of reordering of the things that Michelle normally buys, and we'll have 5 of those. Let's add those to my sales order, and then I can simply click confirm and post that order into Xero, Unleashed, Sage, whatever inventory or ERP system I'm using. And that is an order then sitting waiting for the customer. So I'll just show you that. You can also configure it to pop up and ask for order numbers, so customer's order number. And the final thing I'll show you, just in terms of efficient data entry, is also that I can set different delivery charges to automatically be calculated. So standard delivery, and I'm going to add that to my order, so it's ready to go. And it's as simple as that. So there you've seen a fairly complex quote that I could have then pushed through to Unleashed as an order, or to Xero, or to Sage. We've looked at a medium size quotation where it wasn't part of a whole massive sales project and sales opportunity, but I did want to send the prices to the customer and get a little bit of a follow-up going. And then the simplest, quickest was just to take a sales order. And I'm just going to do that last one again, just to show you how quick it can be in the ideal scenario. So I can go and create a sales order for Michelle. I'm not going to base it on anything, but I am going to use my CSV import. I'm going to put a whole load of products onto this sales order. It's calculated for me all the correct pricing. So if Michelle had special pricing and discounts and things, it will have put all that on. I can check the total. I can tell Michelle that it's going to be $3,600, and then I can just click confirm, and I've processed my sales order. So that's how quick it can be without any rekeying. So no inefficiency, no inaccuracy, no risk that I've typed the wrong products or got the wrong prices, just quick, straightforward order processing for that customer. Okay, so I hope you found that useful and interesting. If you're looking for more help, don't forget our YouTube channel and our Academy site that links to a lot of articles and videos. Or if you're looking for more specific help, then of course you can contact us either on the phone or via the help link, the chat link in the product, or by the services portal. And if you've got suggestions and things that you'd like us to add to the quotation and order processing to make it even more efficient for you, then please do provide your ideas to us. Thank you very much.